Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Social Intercourse. I can't speak this morning. I'm having trouble. So I'm going to have Steph. Everyone, you've seen Steph. Say hello to Steph. Steph's here again to join us.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm going to let her do a lot of the talking because my brain's still waking up.
Well, that's impossible because it's earlier here for me than for you. So
It is, but I had a long night last night, or long day, and then my eyes and brain just decides like at 6 a.m. you're awake, you're done, you can't go back to sleep. So that's been my morning. Anyways, if you haven't seen the episode where Steph was on before, it was about navigating friendships, and we said we were going to be doing a series. So this is number 2 in the series, and so Steph is here.
we made it to number 2.
We did.
And we were going back and forth about what the next friendship topic would be. And something that felt really nice was talking about long distance friendships. Mostly because we have long distance friendship, I think.
We are in a long. We are in a long. I mean,
we are.
We are.
It was like an obvious choice to talk about long distance friendships. And I, of course, wanted to see if there was research, see what the statistics were. Looked around about people writing about it, people talking about it, and I didn't get much information about sustaining long-term relationships. I mean, it is a long-term relationship. It's just a platonic relationship.
Yeah.
And so I found, there are experts out there in friendships. There are people who've written articles about it, but I think I was thinking about our friendship and all the friendships that I've maintained long distance and what goes into nurturing them and what is the foundation for them? Like how is our friendship thriving? How are these other friendships thriving that are also long distance? I'm not sure if you can hear my dog tap dancing. I apologize for that in advance.
Oh, I like it. It's okay. My dog always barks at some point. At some point in an episode, she will bark. So
perfect.
No worries.
We need to know that that we notice them, we love them, they're here.
Yeah.
And so I guess my first question for you is, why do you think it can work? Like, what makes our friendship work? What makes other long distance friendships that you have work? What do you think the pillars are for our friendship?
Well, I mean, to begin with, there was that foundation. There was a strong foundation. Mm-hmm. And we talked about this in the last episode about inner circles. The people who are in my inner circle, doesn't matter where you go in the world, you're part of my inner circle. So it's that strong connection, that basis is there. And because I care, I'm going to work on it. It could stop, it could break if one of the people decide, this is too much work. We don't get to see each other enough. We don't get to talk enough. It's too hard to figure out timing. And it could break, but it's, in any friendship, even if you're in the same city, it could be really hard to get together. I find that. I think I see my friends who are long distance more through these kind of chats than I do my friends who are in the same city as me.
Yeah.
So
I think that is definitely one of the keys to sustaining a long distance friendship is having that initial foundation where you have this established connection, this established closeness, this commonality of whatever it is that brings two people together. But the other thing I noticed is I've also been able to create long distance friendships through the course of when we were doing stay at home, quarantine, and meeting people. And I'm not a big fan of social media. I'm not an avid user of Facebook, Instagram. However, I have met quite a number of people through different online groups that have become some really great long distance friends that there's no way I would have met them outside of being a part of these online communities. I also think there's a difference between the kind of friendship that we had the opportunity to cultivate a friendship for, I don't know how many years before
a long time. Yeah.
Before we split, in physical. And it's different because I don't know what these other people are like on a day-to-day basis. I don't have the same understanding that I would have with you. And I also didn't have, I think, in these newer online friendships, the opportunity to like spontaneously say, hey, do you want to go for a walk? Or, hey, can I come over and take a nap? You know what I mean? There's just, I can maintain the two different kinds of friendships, but they're very different in nature because I don't necessarily know how the newer friends are in their everyday life. I don't know what their cooking tastes like. I don't know what their habits are. I only know what I know from what they tell me. And there's a whole world out there that you need to see it and observe and witness to really understand someone in the kind of way I think that you and I understand each other.
Right. No, it makes a lot of sense. But that also makes me think, like, I love making those friends who are long distance because then you set up travel plans to see each other. And it's like, okay, something to look forward to like actually meet in person.
And it's always exciting, nervous energy. It almost feels like a first date.
Yeah.
Where you're a little nervous, like your butterflies, and then you're like, oh my gosh. And then you think, wow, you're really tall, or wow, you're really, like, you know what I mean? Because those are sometimes the things that you don't actually know. Oh, what kind of hug does this person give? What do they smell like?
Right.
Which is
I had when I was living in California, I had a friend that I had made through IG, and we became very close friends through IG. And now we never actually video chatted or barely talked on the phone. It was all through DMs on IG. And then we started texting because she was coming to visit LA. So we're like, okay, we're gonna have to but we were both very nervous because we're like, ooh, what if we don't actually like each other in person? So I was a little nervous, but we spent like the whole day together and we had so much fun. We clicked, we're like, this is why. We knew it. I mean, why were we nervous? We knew we would just bond. We already bonded. There was no bonding needed. But it was nice having this little like, oh, I'm so nervous. How is this going to be? More nervous than going on a date with somebody. But
yeah, because you even then in those situations you have some foundation, like you do have a foundation and your commonality that brought you together, whether it's in a gluten-free community or a book club that I'm in a romantasy group chat with 5 long distance friends. We are all reading the same book, and it's actually been a really fun way to stay connected to these people just over texting. Just having that commonality, I think, is really lovely, and then you can learn from that.
Right. Now, as we were saying, what keeps you guys, same friend that I was talking about, so lovely. When I moved to Texas, she has family here. They came and like visited me when I was having an event. They just showed up and they kind of played a trick on me. And but it was really funny. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're her family. But I kind of dropped the ball. So we haven't talked in months or even longer. And that is, but I know that I'll probably do that today. I'll send her a message and be like, hey, I'm sorry, I've dropped the ball and I miss you. So I'm going to start talking again. Because that happens. You just get on with things are happening and you get busy, and there might be a few months that go by and you're like, wait, I have not talked to my friend in a while. But because that foundation is there, you can be like, hey, it's me. I'm sorry. I kind of suck, but I'm here. I'm always here. I think we've done that with each other too sometimes.
I feel like there's a lot of things that can get in the way of maintaining these friendships, or just being consistent. And I definitely think the time difference is one of those things that can be really challenging especially if someone's in the Pacific and then your friend is living over in Europe somewhere. That's a huge time difference. Or life happens, and your work schedule and my work schedule may be different, and we're just ships passing in the night. And then there's like the day-to-day things that you might not necessarily feel like you have to tell your friend, but it's just life gets really challenging. And so sometimes I know for me, I hibernate, and I have to kind of climb my way out of my little cave that I built for myself. And sometimes that involves me processing on my own, or just turning inward and hoping that when I come out of it, you'll be on the other side, and you always are, Yeah.
Because we're this, that's what we say. There's that foundation, we're not going to go anywhere. And I think that's also what's great about long distance relationships. You give each other that grace, because you know that the timing is different. Life happens, and you just say, well, no pressure. We're always here. And if something big happens, I'm here for you. And I know you'll reach out if something big is happening. Or if you need me, or if I need you, I know you're there. I know, like, Steph, you might be hibernating, but I really need you right now. You're going to pick up the phone. You're not going to be like, I'm hibernating. No.
Yeah. And I think that's another really important component, I think, to friendships, is that trust, and that knowing that no matter what, I've got you across, a few states, a few time zones, maybe an ocean. We still have each other. And, I think something else I was thinking about is the way I nurture these long distance friendships. I feel like they're more precious in that I don't get as much time. And so when I'm sending you a Marco Polo, which, by the way, is my favorite way to maintain these, I think it's such a fun, more exciting way than I do love memes on Instagram. Don't get me wrong. I love a good meme. I love a text. I love a voice note, but I really love a Marco Polo because I can see your face. And I guess you can do the same on WhatsApp, but I don't know. That was just something.
It's different, because you still have to scroll on WhatsApp to find the last video that was sent. Or the last voice note, like in your text messages, you still have to scroll and look for like the last one. These are just completely video after video after video. So now sometimes videos pile up, but you can watch it on your own time, and
it's low pressure.
Yeah,
you know that it's there, and it's a pick me up. It feels so good to see your face. It's a different kind of connection.
So sidetracking. For anyone who doesn't know what Marco Polo is, because Steph has been trying to get me onto Marco Polo. I think it was for like 11 months. And I was like, oh, another app. I don't know. And I finally got on it. And it's also because of Issa. Issa was on an episode here. Issa lives in the woods in France. And she's a friend that I made through Instagram. And we would set up like Zoom calls or video chats through Instagram with each other here and there. But she's like, I wish there was a way that we could connect and message each other and see each other more often, like with that. And I was like, this sounds like something Steph was telling me. What was it again?
So have you done it?
So we've been doing Marco Polo. And Vicky everyone knows Vicky because she is still a co-host of the show, even though we haven't seen her in a little bit. She's still here. She's in Korea right now. But yeah, we all Marco Polo each other, and it is. And Issa looked it up because she's like, "What is this?" And we were cracking up because we found out it's like the Snapchat for boomers or something. It says. We're like, okay, cool. Love it.
No.
So, yeah, I don't know, but people check it out. Check out Marco Polo. Go join it. Marco Polo also, I wouldn't mind if you guys want to, sponsor us. Thanks. Okay, going back to what you were saying. You like keeping up through Marco Polo and
I think it's such a fun way. I had a friend do the same thing to me about getting on Marco Polo, and I finally was like, okay, I'll do it. And then it had brought together, there was a friend of mine who I've known since second grade, and I talked about this last time we reconnected on Instagram, but we really got to get to this deepened place between in growing our friendship via Marco Polo. I know everything that's going on in her life from these 1 to 2 minute, sometimes 5 minute.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing I really like about the app, because it feels like I'm with her. Like sometimes she'll be at work or in the car or running an errand. It's never looking at the camera talking to me. It's always going through life with the person, which I think gives that closeness that you might have with someone who does live 20 minutes away. And even going back to what you were saying about how you spend as much time with long distance friends on tech, Zooming, Skyping, what have you. Is Skype even a thing anymore? I'm not saying it's not, but do people use Skype?
Oh, I didn't realize that's what you were talking about. I was like, what? Oh, Skype. Is it still around? I don't know. But there's WeChat, WhatsApp, Kakao from all the different countries is Kakao, and I think WeChat is, Kakao is a Korean thing, and WeChat is a Chinese thing. And I know a lot of Japanese people use something called Line. I'm also on Line. And so there's so many. That's the one great thing. Because of tech, it is easier to stay in that long distance friendship now. Because absolutely. I can't imagine trying to keep like pen pals. I don't know. Like before tech, it was really hard.
Yeah. I guess I do have friends who have pen pals. I'm personally not a pen pal, but I do have friends who really enjoy that. And I'd like to think that I'd be good at it, but I don't think I am. I don't think I would be.
Yeah, but how did you find pen pals back then, really, though? Like, didn't your elementary school teacher assign you a pen pal?
I remember that. I remember getting a pen pal, and I remember in high school I kind of had a pen pal. But the pen pal never got back to me, so that really didn't work out. That was just me sending one-sided notes, which is kind of sad. But
yeah, because I went to camps and stuff when I was younger. So you make new friends at camps that you don't have around in your area. And then we would oh yeah, here's my address, send me a letter. And I was like, oh, it's like homework. But we would write a few letters to each other, and then we both drop off because we just, you're young. And I look at my niece. My niece has a friend who was here during pandemic, and they were from, I don't remember if it was Iceland, or let's say it was Iceland. And so after it was her best friend, and they moved back to Iceland. And I was like, oh, I wonder if they're best friends. And they were tears, and separation was so much, but they set up FaceTime calls or Zoom calls with each other. They're elementary school, and they're setting up their Zoom calls, and that's how they stay in touch. And I'm like, and they share their lives with each other still through tech. And the family took vacation to Iceland to go visit each other and stuff. So I was like, this is what we needed to, keep fostering and the friendships. And I know that they're probably going to stay friends throughout the years because they still do their FaceTimes. They still do.
There's a commitment, there's an investment, there's just a general caring about the other person.
And so long distance friendships now can be at any age. And it's not just, hey, your teacher assigned you a pen pal that you've never seen their face. And you're going to have to wait like a month to get a picture of them to know what they look like.
Yeah. And then just, hi, what do you like to do? Stephanie. And then you get, it's like it literally is snail mail. You're just waiting anxiously and this one more thing about the person. So you have something else to talk about or about.
By the way, I realize we just aged ourselves right now.
We are youthful, vibrant, and I don't know what you're talking about.
But anyways, yeah. So I think it'd be hard to. The only way for long distance friendships not to work right now with all the tech is if you just don't put in the effort, that little bit of effort.
Right. It really doesn't take much, sending a meme. I'm thinking of you. Boop. It's not, it's very low effort, but we're getting a text, hey, how's it going? Like, I'm thinking about you. That'll tide me over for like 3 or 4 weeks if I got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd like to think I'm pretty low maintenance. I'm not the kind of person who, unless I feel like I did something wrong, if I don't hear from someone, I don't think it anything other than, oh, they're really busy. I should check, and then maybe I should check in, or hey, I haven't heard from you. Everything cool. And then if I don't hear anything back and it's crickets, it's like, oh, okay, something happened. All right, save that for another day. Give them a couple days, even a couple weeks to get back and try again. And but then that might be just an outgrowth of the relationship, and just kind of,
I do have a friend. I have friends who, I think of one specifically. He has a young child, so I'm like, well, I don't want to bother, because he's busy. He's definitely busy with a kid, so he will periodically FaceTime me with his son, and I'm just like, oh yay. And it's like really fast, but I'm like, oh cool. But I'm like, wait, what do I do to let them know that I do think about them but not feel like I'm bothering? So I just did a quick text like, hey, hope you're well. Hope the kiddo's well. And things like that. And I think I sent a text recently to another friend. Like you said, I just wrote, I miss you. That's it. That's all they need. That's all I need too sometimes.
And I don't think it's ever a bother to hear from a friend. I mean, like we were saying, you might be at work and a text comes in and you get to it when you get to it.
So do I hear you? Do you hear me? Did I lose you? See, sometimes this is the problem with long distance relationships and tech. Things freeze, and then you might be in the middle of a juicy story or something, and then you're just like, oh no, what's going to happen? What's the rest of the story? And then you have to wait. And then you call each other and be like, that froze. But here you go, she's back.
You were just like a wheel of, like the spinning wheel of blackness on the screen.
Oh, was it me that froze then?
We both were just bloop, bloop, bloop.
Oh, I guess no one heard anything I was saying then, because I thought I was saying fascinating things.
I heard nothing, and that is okay. I was just like over here looking at some notes, like, oh, we could talk about this.
I always talk about how like this is the thing that's wrong with tech. It freezes sometimes, and then it could be in the middle of like like a really like suspenseful story, and you're like, oh no, I need to hear the rest. But yeah. Anyways,
that happens a lot because I do a lot of driving, and that's a lot of my catch-up time with people that live, in different places. And I was talking to a friend a couple days ago, and she was telling me a really interesting story, and when she got to the peak moment of the story, it cut out. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, you got to say it again. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah, sorry about that. And then I did it again, and I missed it. And I said, you know what? It's fine. I don't need to know it anyway. It's okay.
No, I need to know it. And I say, call me back. Text me what it is. Send me a voice note. Send me a Marco Polo. Do something, because I need to hear the rest. There's no excuse that we can't with all the tech out there.
There are way too many ways to be in touch. Finish the story. But so on that moment of break, I was looking at some of the positives of long distance friendship, and the one that I said, there are 4 of them from a Medium article. And my favorite one says vicinity can be stifling. So for those who need their space, their alone time, but also want to maintain their friendship, for me, distance works out really well, because then you don't have to say no, or I can't make it, or I'm too tired, or I don't have the energy, or I'm not hungry, or I have to work, or I have, you know what I mean? It kind of lets you off the hook a little bit, which then circles back to what I was saying before, is that when you're with the person, the time is really, really precious and valuable.
Yeah.
With them. And I do think vicinity can be stifling sometimes.
Especially for an introvert, long distance friendships is like the introvert's dream, I guess. That's what we're really good at.
Yeah. I think I said this before, I am excellent at one-on-one. So I think that's also why terrible in groups, excellent one-on-one. And I also think that's why I thrive in, at least I think I thrive in friendships. I keep wanting to say relationships, but friendships. I did have a long distance relationship before.
They are relationships.
Yeah. What is the difference? I mean, is there really a difference other than the physical intimacy between friendships and just regular relationships? Right? You have to take time. You have to make time. You have to be invested. I don't know what else. What else is?
I think the difference between a relationship and a friendship is that the relationship, you really do have to make more time. So you can't be like, well, I'm tired right now, so I don't really want to talk to you. I mean, you can, but that's going to be harder on that relationship. Now with a friend, you can be like, I'm tired tonight, but I know you still, we still got each other. So we'll. But I think with a relationship, it's more fragile. So you really have to put a whole lot more work into it.
Yeah.
But a long distance friendship, which is a relationship, but it's not as fragile, because you can go hang out with other friends, and your friends in other countries, cities, doesn't matter. But in a relationship, it's like, oh, you'd rather go hang out with your friends than hang out with me tonight through a phone call. It's hard.
It is hard.
So I think they are 2 different animals in a way.
Yeah.
How do they're the same species, just different. I don't know what I'm saying. Never mind. Forget it.
I don't know.
So what's the other stuff? So there's vicinity.
Okay. So it says, when you're far apart, nothing can come between you. So when a friendship is founded upon the assumption of distance, your relationship is planned around this kind of existence. So it is kind of like what you were just saying too about, oh, I'm going to go out with my friends instead of talking to my long distance partner on the phone. When there's long distance, and you do make plans to to go on a trip. You and I have a forever plan of going.
Yes, we do.
It will
It will
happen.
happen. It will happen.
But that's just
And
something to look forward to and to keep us excited. And one day we will both take a vacation and spa ourselves to oblivion, I think. But things can't get in the way of long distance when you have these designated trips or these scheduled, and I'm not I don't do well with scheduled phone calls or when are you available right this time. I love a cold call, but when I see you're coming through, I'm there, I'm with you, and there's nothing else that matters unless of course I'm in the bathroom or at work,
right.
then I can't.
Oh, I'll take a call in the bathroom. I'll be like, hey, I'm in the bathroom, but I'll pick up.
Okay, that's true.
I'll give you a word. I'm in the yeah.
Okay.
Hey, listen, we've talked while you've been in the shower too. So let's get it real here.
I think that there's some things that cannot be mentioned that I call people during anyway. So okay, yes. Okay, so the second one is distance creates new experiences to talk about. So I can relate to that too when it keeps conversation fresh, it keeps it new, especially if I'm talking to you once every couple weeks. There's a lot that can happen, there's so much that can happen, and new relationships develop outside of the friendship that you can talk about, or encounters, or a new exciting opportunity for work comes up, and I think that really keeps it fresh as well. And then, so vicinity can be stifling. And the fourth one is your bond is founded on genuine affection as opposed to convenience, which I also think is a really valid point. Did we talk about this last time? How we did have, growing up, you have friendship by convenience, right? Your friends that you go to grade school with, or high school, or your friends from theater, or your friends from, for me, gymnastics or soccer, all the sports that I played. Your neighbor. They're all friends by convenience.
No, I had friends in LA when I first moved there. They were my party friends. That's all we would just hang out to go party. That was it. Did I know much more about their lives? No, we just knew that we had fun when we go out together. That's it.
Yeah, and then once there is that physical separation where where you are, I'm here. There's still a general want and desire and affection that I feel for you that outweighs any sort of situation that box that I put you in of, oh no, Rachel is just my friend from this scenario, but you're so much more than just this thing. And I think that I think that's really where the friendships shine through, is when you can maintain that, again, outside of the convenience of you living when, I used to live on your couch for a hot second there, like when we were right there. So I think that's another.
Now, what do I miss about, or find inconvenient about long distance friendships is, especially ones that aren't new, but the ones like I've had that foundation. I miss it. I talked about this in the last episode we had together. I miss the random Steph shows up on my door just to give me a hug. I miss that because you can't just you could just hop on a plane and show up at my door. Girl, why aren't you doing that?
I know. I need to do better. I'm sorry.
So, but I find that those things, like sometimes I would just go over, we just take a nap. We'd be like, let's just take a nap together. I miss that. I miss
let's walk the dogs. Let's do this kind of stuff together. I do think that, and part of me and this is a different topic, but like, do you do that now? With friends that you have? Because I don't do that. I'm not spontaneous anymore. I have lost my luster. It's gone. There's no.
So I've been trying to get together with one of my friends for the last few weekends now, but something something happened with me, something happened with them, and then another thing, and then I'm like, oh well, now I'm in Dallas, so our plan is for next weekend. So we'll fingers crossed. But we also know we love each other, and that like when we see each other, we'll see each other, and
Yeah.
we're like the same kind of energy. So we're like, it's cool. I know, like we're trying, but that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. We're not going to get together on like a video chat.
Yeah.
We're going to
Because,
wait till we see each other.
right. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes I see my friends who are long distance more often than I do my friends in the same city because yeah, and then I have my other friend who's been very busy with her daughter. Oh my gosh, I went to go watch her daughter in a community theater musical. So stinking cute and so good. I was like, I think I was tearing. I took my other niece with me, and she said she pointed at my niece. They'd never met each other at one part and was like singing to her. And I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. And I was like, I wanted to cry with like so much pride. But anyway, she was so busy that we hadn't seen each other for a really long time. And so I made that first of all to go support my niece and to see my friend, even if it's just like a quick second, because we got to do that.
Yeah.
Even because to me, we're long distance. we're in the same state, but you know, she lives in not in Austin, but like outside of Austin. So it's a little bit further. And then my other friend too that I've been trying to get together with for a few weeks is like on the other side of Austin. So to me, they're all long distance.
Well, that's what I was going to ask actually. What constitutes long distance? I mean, to be honest, as someone who lives on the west side in Los Angeles, someone who lives on the other side of the 405, you know, or
Yes.
technically I'm on the other side of the 405, but I'm talking like on the other side. But or someone on, you know, Silver Lake, that's long distance. Someone who's in Pasadena, you were in Pasadena for a while.
Yeah.
That's long distance.
That was super. I mean, we were very long distance then. And when I lived in Calabasas, I was long distance from everybody. I was like,
I know it takes, I don't know, because I'm going against, I'm going with traffic. So if I were to go, if a friend, which has come up actually, I have a friend who is from another country in the States. She's here for about 6 months on her work visa. And she's I think she's in Atwater. She might be in Highland Park.
Okay.
Her ship's passing in the night. She's been here since the end of December. I haven't seen her because there is no time, the coordinating of our time and schedules. It's impossible. Impossible. It's I can't believe I just sang. If that's what but that feels long distance because it would take me a solid 2 hours to get from work in Brentwood over to the east part of LA. That's like driving to San Diego. I could drive to Ojai.
No, it's far. Yeah, it's a long drive.
Yeah.
Miles might be not that long, but it is a long drive. I mean, it's LA traffic, people.
Yeah. So that to me also is long distance, and I'm not doing a very good job of nurturing that one. But you know, we can only do what we do. So.
Right. But that's the thing. As long as that actual feeling of wanting to stay friends and that care, whatever that fourth one was that from the Medium article, the actually wanting to stay,
the genuine affection. Yeah.
I mean, that's what matters too.
Yeah. I like this quote from another article. It said, long distance friendships are one of those little miracles, aren't they? A connection that, against all odds and despite the miles, stays resilient. I loved it.
Yeah. No, it is. It is resilient. And I guess it's like when you think about, your high school friends or college friends or anyone or like you move out and you go back to your hometown and you guys all like meet up, and it's kind of like you never had that time apart. You just kind of pick right back up. So it's family.
Yeah.
A lot of the times long distance relationships feels like families. My friend
Yeah.
Isa feels like family to me. I through Marco Polo, see all the town when she goes to town and goes to her bakery. I'm in line with her at the bakery, and I get to see each baked good she's gonna pick, and I can put in my little 2 cents. Now, sometimes there is that time difference when we're watching, but sometimes I can get her at a certain time. She can get me, and I'm like, no, don't get that one, or like. I've never said that. I've never said don't get it. Don't get that bread. Like get all the bread, please. But yeah, it's so we are coming to the end of this show because I'm like, oh, I gotta keep the time. You gotta go too. For everyone in long distance relationships, friendships, leave comments. Let us know what you think. Did we miss anything? Is there more bad to long distance friendships than we're talking about? Like, did you get into huge fights while being in a long distance friendship because of a distance or something? Or because someone just won't call you back? I don't know.
That's something we didn't even talk about is how texting, like you can't get tone from a text. And
Yeah.
communication, an unintentional miscommunication, and like has that led to any sort of drama within the friendship?
Yeah.
So how do you resolve that? How do you
Well, that might be a good one for our next episode in the series, friendship breakups or fights.
rough?
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for being here again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and everyone, yeah, come for the next one. We'll probably do friendship breakups, or maybe we'll do something else. Give us a suggestion. But
we love friends. Anything friends.
Yeah. So, all right, everyone, that's it for today. I have to find my outro again. I'm not on the ball lately. So thanks, and join us next week, next Thursday as well. Thanks, Steph. Bye.
Bye.